Let's start with a simple question. How does a vegetable get you killed? You're about to find out. We're diving into the silent assassins, the culinary conspiracies, the times your perfectly innocent meal decided to end your existence. This is the universe reminding you that trusting anything is a fool's errand. If you don't want to miss one of our deep dives into the absurd ways life tries to kill you, then hit that subscribe bell. The broccoli botulism bonanza, Calabria, Italy, August 2025. 52-year-old artist Luigi Di Sarno just wanted a wholesome lunch and broccoli sandwich. Sounds delicious, sound like a death sentence. The broccoli had been preserved in oil, creating a cozy, oxygen-free spa for Clostridium botulinum. Luigi had no idea he was eating a biological weapon. Not long after, he collapsed. Botulinum toxin paralyzed his breathing. Luigi died and 9 other customers were severely hospitalized. Investigators seized the killer broccoli, confirming that even the most health-conscious choices can harbor a tiny, invisible assassin. The moral? Never trust a vegetable that's been swimming in oil. Well, that one was a bit of a downer. But hey, at least it was just one sandwich, right? That one you didn't see coming. Because the next killer was hiding in the freezer aisle across 18 different states. The Listeria Lunch Line, the United States, 2025. We're buying those convenient plant-based pre-cooked pasta dishes from places like Trader Joe's and Kroger. We're being responsible adults, and the universe just laughs. Across 18 states, people were getting sick. The culprit? Listeria monocytogenes, a bacterium that can grow even in cold refrigerators. By the time the CDC figured it out, 6 people were dead, 25 were hospitalized, and 1 pregnant woman tragically lost her baby. The CDC had to issue an urgent warning. Throw out your convenient, healthy food. What looked like a quick, guilt-free dinner was actually a ticking time bomb. So much for being a responsible adult. Okay, so pre-cooked meals are out. We'll stick to fresh, simple, wholesome greens. Like, say, spinach. You'll never guess what happened next. The E. coli spinach surprise. 2006, Ruby Trouts, 81, from Nebraska, was doing everything right, eating baby spinach. But in 2006, bagged spinach across the country became contaminated with a nasty strain of E. coli O157:H7. After eating it, Ruby developed cramps, bloody diarrhea, and seizures. 4 days later, she passed away. 4 others died, and over 200 people became violently ill. The FDA, in a moment of pure panic, told all Americans to stop eating fresh spinach. Imagine that headline. FDA declares war on Popeye's favorite food. It turns out that even the most virtuous leafy green can be a Trojan horse for a microscopic murderer. Maybe that's why kids hate vegetables. All right, no more land-based food. It's too complicated. Let's go back to nature, back to the sea. Nothing more natural than a raw oyster, right? Well, that one you definitely didn't see coming. The vicious Vibrio oyster vengeance. Louisiana, August 2025. The Gulf Coast, famous for seafood, warm waters, and Vibrio vulnificus. It's a flesh-eating bacteria that loves warm oysters. 4 people died and 22 were hospitalized. 2 of the dead had just enjoyed a few raw oysters. The bacteria takes over quickly, turning into a flesh-eating infection or causing deadly septic shock. It's like a tiny, invisible shark attack on your immune system. Authorities warn that eating raw oysters in hot months is risky, but people still do it. Why? Because we're all convinced we're the exception to the rule. Spoiler alert, you're not. So vegetables are out, pasta is out, and seafood is definitely out. What's left? The one thing we are told we absolutely need: water. The watery wake-up call. Indiana, July 2023. Ashley Summers, a 35-year-old mother, felt extremely thirsty and drank about 2 liters of water in only 20 minutes. Hydration goals achieved. Except no. Soon she had a headache, then nausea, and then she collapsed. Doctors called it water intoxication. Drinking too much water too fast had diluted the sodium in her blood, causing her brain to swell. Turns out you can drown yourself from the inside out. Water is essential, but too much, too quickly, and your brain decides to stage a protest and shut down the whole operation. The ultimate irony? The cure for thirst is also the poison. Water is deadly. Food is deadly. What about supplements? We take those to be extra healthy. You'll never guess what happened next. The carrot juice catastrophe. United Kingdom, 1974. Meet Basil Brown. A true believer in health food, he decided to take it to the extreme. Over 10 days, he drank nearly 10 gallons of carrot juice and took huge amounts of vitamin A supplements. Because if a little is good, a lot must be better, right? Instead of achieving peak wellness, his liver started failing. Doctors found he had consumed toxic amounts of vitamin A. His organs shut down, and he died. He literally overdosed on health. The takeaway? Your body is a delicate, easily offended machine. Trying to force-feed it a decade's worth of vitamins in 10 days is generally frowned upon by the whole staying alive community. Who knew you could die from too much orange? Okay, no more extreme health kicks. Let's stick to something simple, something sweet. Like, say, black licorice. Well, that one you definitely didn't see coming. The licorice lowdown. United States, 2020. A 54-year-old man in Massachusetts had a sweet habit. He ate 1 to 2 big bags of black licorice every single day. A man of simple yet deadly pleasures. What he didn't know was that black licorice contains glycyrrhizin, a compound that can drop your potassium levels dangerously low. One day, he collapsed in a restaurant. Doctors found he was in ventricular fibrillation, a deadly heart rhythm. They couldn't save him. It turns out that even a couple ounces a day for 2 weeks can trigger heart problems. Who needs a heart attack from stress when you can get one from a chewy black candy? It's a cruel world where even the most innocuous snack can be your undoing. So, we've covered the internal threats. But what about the external ones? The ones that come from a simple mistake? You'll never guess what happened next. The recipe change roulette. Texas, 2024. Allison Pickering, 23, had a severe peanut allergy. She ordered a dish she'd eaten before. She felt safe. Safety is an illusion, by the way. What she didn't know was that the restaurant had changed the recipe and added peanut sauce. After taking a bite, Allison reacted immediately. She used her EpiPen, but it wasn't enough. She went into anaphylactic shock and passed away. All because a recipe change wasn't communicated. It wasn't the food's fault, it was the system's fault. The paperwork, the communication, the simple act of updating a menu. The true killer was bureaucracy. A recipe change is bad, but what about a label that just lies? Well, that one you definitely didn't see coming. Sesame seed silence. London, 2016. Natasha Ednan Laperouse, 15, bought a baguette. She checked the label, no sesame. She was severely allergic. She did everything right. But sesame seeds were baked into the bread, unlisted. The law at the time didn't require full labeling for prepackaged food made on site. On the plane, she began to react and died soon after landing. Her death led to Natasha's Law in the UK, requiring full allergen labeling. So a teenager had to die just so we could get accurate labels on our sandwiches. It's a tragic reminder that sometimes the only way to fix a broken system is with a broken heart. Okay, we've seen allergies, bacteria, and overhydration. Let's end with a cultural classic, a food that symbolizes good fortune. You'll never guess what happened next, the Mochi Misfortune. Japan, January 2025. Every new year, families enjoy mochi, sticky rice cakes that symbolize good fortune. They also symbolize a choking hazard for the elderly. Mochi becomes soft, stretchy, and glue-like when warm. If it gets stuck in the throat, it can completely block the airway. In January 2025, two elderly men in Tokyo choked on mochi and died. This happens every year. Authorities remind families each year to cut it into small pieces and watch elderly relatives closely. It's the annual tradition of celebrating good fortune by almost dying from a delicious, gluey rice ball. A perfect final example of how even the most festive food is just waiting for you to make one tiny mistake. The final bite. So, there you have it. 10 times your dinner decided to turn against you. The lesson is clear. Trust nothing. Not your doctor, not your clown, and certainly not your food. If you enjoyed this tour through the culinary absurd and you want to ensure you're notified, the next time we expose a common household item trying to murder you, do yourself a favor, hit that like button, and subscribe before your next meal.